Adiguri Avatar, Shri Confucius. You have to feel the humanism of Confucius within you. Shree Mataji. Confucius was a Chinese philosopher, politician, and teacher whose message of knowledge, benevolence, loyalty, and virtue were the main guiding philosophy of China for thousands of years. He is said to have been born in 551 before Christ in China. He may have been a student of the Taoist master Lao Tzu. He began government service aged 32 and served many roles, including Minister of Crime in the state of Lu. Confucius presented himself as a transmitter who invented nothing, because he believed he was teaching the natural path to good behavior passed down from older divine masters. Around the 2nd century before Christ, Confucius' works were collected into the Analects, a collection of stories and sayings written down by his followers. Confucius didn't like prescribing strict rules. Instead, he believed that if he simply lived virtuously, he would inspire others to do the same. Some of the morals Confucius taught are easily recognizable, most notably his version of the Golden Rule. Do not do to others what you do not want done to yourself. He spoke about moral character and wisdom as the work of a lifetime. Confucius was adamant about the importance of the universal wisdom that comes from years of hard work and reflection. He listed the aforementioned compassion and ritual property among 3 other virtues: justice, knowledge, and integrity. These were known as the 5 constant virtues. While Confucius believed that people were inherently good, he also saw the virtues like these must be constantly cultivated, just like plants in a garden. He taught his followers, "At 15, I had my mind bent on learning. At 30, I stood firm. At 40, I had no doubts. At 50, I knew the decrees of heaven. At 60, my ear was an obedient organ for the reception of truth. At 70, I could follow what my heart desired, without transgressing what was right." After traveling for many years, Confucius returned to his homeland at the age of 68 and devoted himself to teaching. He is said to have died in 479 before Christ at the age of 72. After his death, his followers created schools and temples in his honor across East Asia, passing his teachings along for over 2,000 years. At first, Confucian scholars were persecuted in some areas, but later, Confucianism was made the official philosophy of the Chinese government and remained central to its bureaucracy for nearly 3,000 years. For a time, his teachings were followed in conjunction with those of Lao Tzu and the Buddha, so that Taoism, Confucianism, and Buddhism were held as fully compatible spiritual practices. The worldly concern of Confucianism rests upon the belief that human beings are fundamentally good and teachable, improvable, and perfectible for personal and communal endeavor, especially self-cultivation and self-creation. Confucian thought focuses on the cultivation of virtue in a morally organized world.
Just like Confucius. Confucius wanted to establish a quality of people, a category of people who would have a feeling for others, as we say in Samajikta, or the public-minded people. Mostly human beings are selfish. They live for their families. At the most, they may live for some relations of theirs. But some of them are of a category who rise above that limited sphere and become conscious about the needs of the society. Now, when we see somebody dying or getting drowned in the sea, we find somebody jumping to save that person. In that case, who saves is not that person, but the collectivity that is within this gentleman. He feels something of his part and parcel is getting drowned, and he must save that part and parcel, so he jumps to save that. In the same way, in the fire, in any catastrophes, when we find people dying to save others, we can explain that innately we are collective beings. Within us, there is a collective feeling. And when this collective feeling is expressed in this manner, you prepare grounds for divine to work through. Because divine is something that is absolutely collective.